shit. We got 35 seconds, sir. Get this motherfucker going,
Cool,
man.
cool.
Hey, man, I've been doing my memory. Well, we'll talk about. I can't talk about on the air shit. I was about to talk about this on the air and shit.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that shit. All right. Talk about this on the air and shit. Oh shit. Let me. Oh shit. We'll talk about
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. Four, three, two, one. Blog Talk Radio. 4, 3.
Yo, what's going on? What's poppin'? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So listen, I'm going to tell you how you can get a woman obsessed with you. How you get a girl to really, really be feeling you, right? So
what's going on, everybody? www.themandmindset.com. It's your boy, the Dean. Class is in session. You know what, guys? What I want to talk to you guys today about is attraction. And the thing for a lot of you guys is that you think you get a pass straight to attraction when you meet a woman. That's not going to happen. In order to do that, guys, you have to make sure you get curiosity.
The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Welcome to the Dating Advice Hour with your hosts, Mr. Locario and Steve the Dean Williams. This show will teach you how to keep conversations going, how to be more attractive, more confident, more masculine, how to be better at knowing what to say to a woman, and have a more satisfied dating and sex life. Mr. Locario is the bad boy of the dating game. BadBoyMembership.com is where you can go to step up your game, as Mr. Locario provides you with detailed step-by-step dating advice, audio-video tutorials every month. Steve the Dean Williams has been teaching men about dating, sex, and manhood for over 25 years. From building yourself to having the perfect marriage, his website is www.themanmindset.com. The call-in number is 515-605-9373. That's 515-605-9373. Take it away, guys.
Mr. Locario, the bad boy today.
Yo, what up?
Man?
What's going on? What's poppin'?
Oh man, I don't know, guys. We are sorry for last week, man. Y'all want to call in? 515-605-9373 is the number. We are here, myself and Mr. Locario, to answer your questions in this 1 hour. If not, we will talk amongst ourselves. I got 3 questions. He's got 3 questions. And after those 3 questions over with, we gone. So, Mr. Locario,
Exactly.
would you hey, beauty before age, sir. So would you like to start first, sir?
Yeah, I can start it off.
All right, let's see,
All right,
fam.
so this one right here, it says, I have a girl that I'm talking to in my college who I like, but most of the time when we hang out, she is always talking to some other guy. Like we will be in the cafeteria eating, and then she will see some other guy she knows walk in. Then she will go up to him and hug him and be all over him. Is she doing this to make me jealous? What should I do? All right. So what's your thoughts on that, Steve?
Well, you know what, Mr. Locario? The thing that I always say is that I guess he just met the girl, right?
I think so. Or okay. I think it's some girl he knows that I guess he sounds like he's sort of in the friend zone to me. It's like some girl he knows that he likes, but he ain't really doing nothing about it.
Right. Well, yeah. He's not doing nothing about it, but he can't do anything about it because I think this is the issue. The issue is when you deal with women like that, that means that there's no interest at all, or I think that he is not expressing himself to her. He's not telling her how he feels. He's just hanging out with her, making her think that, if I hang out with her, she likes me. So I think that's the problem right there. I think he hasn't really put his bid in, number one. Because if he put his bid in and she's still acting that way, that means she doesn't like him. But I think it's the thing where he didn't put his bid in, and the thing that he has to understand is she doesn't know he likes her. I mean, see, a lot of these guys are under this impression, Mr. Lucario, that a woman is automatically going to like you, or she knows you like her. These women don't know about that shit because they don't care. They're not thinking about that. So I think her hugging other guys and stuff like that around him is, guess what, Mr. Lucario? Something she can do because they're not even dating. They're not anything. They're not anything. Now, if we got in a relationship, if we were like, you my girl and shit, all that bullshit is gone, Mr. Lucario. All that shit's out the door.
Right.
But right now, I would just say for you, man, I don't think he put his bid in. And the fact that he hasn't put his bid in yet, he might charge it to the game, because if you don't put your bid in early with a woman, she's going to see you as a gay best friend and all that other shit. And I don't think it's going to work, man. What you got on that, fam? What you got?
Right. And now I was thinking that too, is that, like, it seems like he hasn't really done anything. He's just hanging out with her, hanging around her on some, like, I know you, you know me, we see each other in class or in school or whatever, and we just know each other. I don't think he's really doing anything, because the thing is, since he isn't doing anything, his question is she trying to make him jealous? But it's like, she's not trying to make you jealous because there's nothing probably going on between those, him and her. You know what I mean? So it's just he's just basically like a friend to her at this point. What it seems like. You know what I mean? So I think that he at this point, he might need to, like, if he wants to still try to make something happen, he could try, but he has to try as soon as possible, because the more that he hangs around her without doing anything, the more he becomes more like a friend, because she's going to be even looking at him like that, like, okay, well, I guess, we just friends, you know what I mean? So, like, a lot of guys, I think they forget that sometimes they get in the friend zone, not necessarily because the girl doesn't like them, but because they've never made a move, so the girl doesn't know that he likes her, and then therefore she sort of is just cool with the guy and some friend stuff. And then what happens is that he becomes such a friend that even if he tries to do something later, she's looking at him like a friend, and now she's like, oh, I don't want to ruin our friendship. We're just so close. You're like a brother to me. You feel what I'm saying? And now it's over. You feel what I mean? So he needs to start learning how to make moves. And if he can't make nothing happen with this girl, he needs to just move on to something else and then start fresh and really go in from the beginning. You know what I mean? So that's what I think about that shit right there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I don't think he really. I don't think he ever tried, man. I think he's bullshitting with her. I think he's bullshitting with her. I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I don't think he's being honest with this situation. Because if he was honest with this situation,
right? Because I also.
Oh, go ahead.
When I was gonna say, because also what I was thinking too is, like, if he was really going in and they was really flirting or dating or whatever, I don't think she would necessarily even be hugging up on other dudes so aggressively in front of him. You know what I mean? Because if they were really messing around, or if they was really talking, there would really be no need for her to make him jealous, because he's with her, like, he's there. So it's like, I feel like the fact that she's actually hugging up on other dudes that's coming into the cafeteria or whatever and just flirt with them or whatever is showing that he really hasn't established any type of her, because I feel like if he did and she was feeling him too, then she probably wouldn't be so forthright or forthcoming with doing that shit. You feel what I mean? With other guys.
Well,
so,
I think he should give up. I think he should give up Ben Sicario.
Right.
I don't. If he's listening and he hasn't put his bid in, you need to let that shit go. You need to let that go, because she's gonna wonder why didn't you say something before, and just let that shit go. So
right.
Yeah. So I would say that. All right. Well, let's keep going. 515-605-9373 is the number. Let me go ahead and read mine. I just had mine. Where is it at? Oh wait, remember. Okay, here we go. Okay. Steve, it's been a year and a half since I texted this girl I met off the internet. I'm single now. I've lost a little bit of weight. My jawline is back. I don't understand what that means anyway. But I have a way better haircut. I don't even know what that means. We never got to meet in person previously. What's a good text for me to reinitiate talking to this girl that will maximize my chances with her? I'm thinking about something like, hey, it's him. We met at XYZ site a while back. How's life? I've been aging well, LOL. And then could I include a recent picture of me clothed, LOL. I think if I keep it simple and just say something like, hey, how's life? There's a decent chance of her if I say, hey, how's life? There's a decent chance of her ignoring the text. There's a reasonable chance that she's forgotten who I am. She's really hot, and I kind of think she decided that she was a bit too good looking for me. So I think me sending a pic could be a deal breaker. My God, what's your thoughts? Shit.
This kind of sounds similar to a lot of emails I get too, where these guys, they all of a sudden want to like rekindle something that was maybe happening before or whatever, and it's just like, at this point, if you thinking, if his thought process is that she might be thinking that she's too good looking for him, or and he hasn't seen her in a while or whatever like that. A lot of times, when you're dealing with chicks, if you haven't really, done anything or hollered at them in a while, a lot of times they're already busy with some other dudes. You feel what I'm saying? So, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, you can't get at her, because sometimes she might not be busy with other dudes, but most of the time they are. But what I would say is, if I would just say hit her up that one time, and I don't even think you need to send a picture, because I feel like sending the picture at this point is kind of like, it's kind of like you're being way too extra. You understand? Because I feel like this. You sometimes want to see how a woman felt about you, and to a certain extent. And so what I mean is, if I haven't seen a chick or I haven't texted a girl in like forever, or I met her one day and I didn't really do nothing really happened, and I hit her back, she should know who the fuck I am. She shouldn't have had forgotten about me. You know what I'm saying? So if she does respond to you saying, hey, what's up, it's so-and-so, how you been, blah, 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 and she remembers who you are, that's a good sign. If she doesn't remember who you are, you understand, it is not as good of a sign, you understand, but it's also understandable because it's been, a while. You see what I mean? So I would just say hit her up, see what it is, and then if she doesn't remember you, then maybe you could send a picture to remind her, and then try to keep it going from that end. But like I always say, a lot of times when you guys make shit take too long, it ruins the momentum of the situation, and then you kind of lose it altogether. So, I would say that he could still try, but it's most likely going to be a lost cause at this point. You know what I mean? So let's see what you think. What's your thoughts on that?
I think you can't rekindle something if you don't have a match. And what I mean by that is,
right.
What a lot of guys have to understand, and this is all the problem I always have with my clients. Every time they talk to a woman and I ask them, what did you say to her? And they're like, well, I don't know. I always tell them, Miss Lucario, if you don't remember what you said to her, how is she going to remember what you said to her?
Right.
And I think a lot of these individuals think they're trying to rekindle something. There's nothing to rekindle because there never was a match to get the light, everything started. The problem is there was nothing special about you that made her want to be with you from the get-go. If you call her right now, she may respond, but you will no longer be in the running of getting some pussy from her. You'll be in the running of being her gay best friend. You were out of this. You were out of it from the jump street, but you think just because you got lost weight and you got a new haircut, that's going to help you get the woman. It doesn't work that way, Mr. Lucario, and this is the problem a lot of these guys have. If you wait, listen, what does a shuttle do before it enters Earth? It comes through a window.
Right.
There's a window, and if you miss that window of opportunity, and in this case, Mr. Lucario, I don't think there was any opportunity to go with, but I think that what this guy is doing is like a lot of guys doing. He's waiting. He feels like he lost his turn, so he's going to wait for the shuttle to go around Earth again to find that window. And by that time, someone else has come along, maybe a Mr. Lucario, who ran into her before she met you, or a Mr. Lucario who ran into her
Right.
after she met you. Once she meets a Mr. Lucario type individual, she is gonna weigh you towards Mr. Lucario. She's gonna look at all the things that Mr. Lucario has to offer her, not money wise, not caking wise, but being a man wise compared
Right.
to you, and that's where he's gonna lose Mr. Lucario. So it's not a win situation for him at all, man.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is that dudes got to strike while I always say you got to strike while the pussy is hot. You know what I mean? And it's like if you don't do that, because I think a lot of guys have this thought process of thinking that women are just waiting around. You know what I'm saying? For
Yes.
them to you know, these girls are at home knitting sweaters and waiting for you to call them. It's like, nah, they got things going on. They got lives too. So, you know, they going to end up being with some other dude or dealing with some other guy. They're going to forget who you are and all sorts of stuff. So you got to definitely, you know, strike while the pussy's hot, strike while you're there. Make it be known that something's going on there. You said there probably wasn't anything that happened from the beginning to where she won't even remember this guy because nothing really even happened. You see what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, it's one of those things I would say, you know, he could, if he wants to, he could probably holler at her, but I think it's going to be slim to no chance that it's going to really go down. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And again, like the last email we had, it's another thing where dudes got to move on, and then for the next time, make sure they're ready. You feel what I'm saying? Because a lot of times cats, they mess up stuff. They mess it up so much that it's almost like it's almost hard to get it back together. You feel what I'm saying? You just got to start fresh, and then once you start fresh, do the right thing the next time. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So you know.
All right. Well,
It's crazy.
You 1,000 with
Crazy.
that. All right, man, Mr. Cario, it's on you now. You got the next one.
All right, cool. So this one says, how do you ask a woman out on a second date? Should you tell her on the first date? Should you call her the next day? What exactly are you supposed to do? I went out with this girl yesterday, and I can't stop thinking about her, and I want to see her again, but I don't know what to do. All right, so he wants to know, how do you ask a woman out on the second date?
Well, Mr. Carr, if I'm on the first date with the woman and everything is going right, I always tell guys when everything is going good, I always a stock. When stock goes high, it's going to fall sooner or later. So I kind of cash out when everything is fun and exciting. But even when I cash out, Ms. Lucario, I also let them know that, look, I had a great time. You know what? I like to do this again some other time. I would do that at the end of the first date. Now, again, you don't have to do it at the end. You can do it whenever you want to do it, but you got to let her know what you want to do, and you want to let her know why you want to do it. We had a great time. I enjoyed your company, and I absolutely want to see you again. Now, the question is, Mr. Lucario, where do you move the date to? Now, this is tricky, Mr. Lucario, because I will use you, Mr. Lucario. I'm going to use you. You're my crash test dummy here. Now, if Mr. Lucario is on a first date, everything is going so well, Mr. Lucario can move that to dinner at my place. That's the difference when you have game and you know what you're doing. You can have it. The first one is always going to be out in public so she can feel safe around you. Mr. Lucario is going to make her feel safe. Mr. Lucario is going to make her feel good. But when it gets to the second time, whether it is at the end of the first date or later on that weekend, Mr. Lucario would then, because he's talking to her, texting her, whatever he's doing, he's setting her up to say, you know what? Why don't we have dinner at my place? Why don't you come to my place? Now, again, I don't know where this guy is on his level, but that's what our kind does. We will move that shit to our place. Now, for you, if you're a regular cookie cutter, then for you, I would then move, because, again, I believe the first date should be coffee, ice cream, or fucking walking the ducks, something simple. Now, if you enjoyed her and everything was good, yeah, I would say maybe move it to dinner. But for a lot of you guys, you don't have enough talk game in you to move it to dinner. But if you're going to do anything, Mr. Lucario, I say do it at the end of the first date or do it when you want to do it. That's where a lot of guys don't understand. You do it when you want to do it. There is no set time for a man. We do what we want when we want to do it, and that's it. Whenever we get that little hair to say, okay, you know what? Shit, I'm going to call old girl and set some shit up. That's when you do it. What do you got on that, Mr. Lucario?
Right. No, I totally agree with the whole setting stuff up on the first date for the second date. But it's funny because I've heard like a lot of other people say, oh, you should never set the second date after the first date. You got to wait, until you get home and then text her later and all. And I'm like, nah, because I think like if you're on the date and the date is good and it's at a high point and everything is going great and she's feeling it, that's the best time to really set it, because now she's at that high point, which is where she's like thinking about, yeah, I want to do this again. I want to see you again. I want to make it happen again. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's almost like she's saying, yeah, I'm looking forward to making this happen again. And then you're bringing that up in order to make it happen again. You know what I mean? And so definitely I would say, that's a good time to do it. But like you said too, also, is that, if you don't do it on the first date, when you can hit her up maybe later that week or whatever, and just be like, hey, when are you free again? Let's get together and do this and do that. The thing is, if the girl is into you, right, she's gonna want to see you anyway. So all setting the second date up is just about you contacting her when you want to contact her, because she's already so into you. She's gonna say yes. You feel what I'm saying? I think a lot of times when guys ask these questions, they're thinking way too much about, well,
yes.
I'm scared to make a move, because what if the move I make is going to scare her off? You understand?
Overthinking.
And so it's more so like, you just basically like making the move and actually going through with it in order to create the situation for you and her to get together again. So, it ain't nothing just to hit her up and say, let's do this and let's do that on this day or on that day, and then, make it go down. And I like that you was talking about like getting her back to your place to make dinner and do all this other stuff, because now you're moving the situation forward to create that sexual tension and make shit go down. You see what I mean? So yeah, you just gotta like hit her up and see what it is, and you'll be fine.
No doubt. All right,
that's
man.
It.
All right, that's it. All right, let me go and read mine, guys. We got 3 more emails to read, and we'll be wrapping this up. Y'all want to call in? 515-605-9373. Let me go to the next question. All right, here we go. Mr. Lucario, long story short. Let's see here. Well, I didn't even get a chance. I read this one. I didn't even finish this shit. Okay, long story short, I've met this woman a few months ago, and after a few weeks of casual texting, we went out to lunch last Friday. I was hoping for a daytime meetup after 2 weeks of just texting her, and she said she really wanted to see me, and this was a great time we had. Well, we ended with a kiss, and she specifically said that we're doing drinks next week, which is this week. But since it's been a crapshoot of me getting a response or not, I figured small talk was necessary, or should I just skip right past that and say, hey, let's meet up again at this place at this time, trying to make the conversation. Should I make the conversation sexual? What's the best way to move forward here, Mr. Lucario?
So he's asking, should he make the conversations that he's having with the girl sexual in order to like hook up with her? Is that what he's asking?
Yeah, spice it up, yes.
Right. Well, yeah, definitely, in any type of situation when you're with a chick, you want to, at some point, bring the conversation to sort of a sexual, flirtatious level. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing that's going to give you the information to know if she's actually into you, if she's actually on the same page, if she wants to also do those things. You see what I mean? So the thing is, I always tell guys that small talk is good, to a certain extent, but you don't want to just be having small talk the whole time. You don't want to just have, regular type of talk the whole time. You want to always push it forward with the sexual talk, with the flirtatious talk, because that's the thing that's going to get her excited. That's the thing that's going to get her in the mood. That's the thing that's going to have her create those feelings to where she wants to have sex with you and do all these other things. So you just definitely have that type of conversation within the interactions that you're having with the girl, because if you just keep it very platonic the whole time, again, she might end up thinking you don't like her. she might start to see you as, you know, a guy she's just going to be friendly with, and then nothing's really going to happen. You know what I mean? And so you definitely got to turn it up when you're interacting with these chicks. You know what I mean?
Oh, hell yeah. This is the thing I always tell guys, Mr. Lucario. I tell guys, listen, when you're doing everything correctly, the date should be more intimate of hugs and kisses. Meaning that you don't set something up on Monday for Saturday and don't talk to her till Friday. You don't do that. What I want to do is if I set something up for Monday, if I see her on Monday and I set something up for Saturday, I'm going to make sure Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I might give her a break on Friday, but at least 3 out of the 4 days, we're going to have some in-depth conversations where it's going to be fun, flirty, and sexual to a point where when Saturday comes, the hug and the kiss is already a done deal. It's already something that's I'm saying to her either in the second or third day where, you know what, you got to make sure you keep your hands off of me. So, you know, because if you do this, I'm a kiss and whatever, however I want to do it. That's where a lot of guys are going wrong, Mr. Lucario, because a lot of guys don't know how to transition from being an interviewer, which most guys fuck up doing anyway, to being smooth, romantic, flirty, sexual, romantic. They don't know how to do that. So they go on to the first date doing the Q&A. Then the second day, the Q&A with a hug. The third day, the Q&A with a hug and a kiss. I mean, they're like up to the third, fourth week before they even get in your ass. And that is crazy to me, man. Crazy. So that is my answer. What you got, fam? For the it's your last email. What you got, man?
All right, cool. So the last one, this one says, I'm not the type of guy who is a player or who wants to be a player. I just want to have a girlfriend. I've been single for the past 3 years, and it seems like every day it gets harder and harder to get women to pay attention to me. I tried online dating, but that has been slow, and my friends tried to set me up a few times, but I still haven't found the one. Could you give me some tips on what I should do to get a girlfriend? I feel like I've tried everything and nothing seems to work. All right, so what's your thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh! Stop trying to find the one. Stop trying to find the one.
Exactly.
And be the one. Don't look for her.
Right.
Show her why they need to look for you. That's the problem with a lot of these guys, Mr. Lucario. They play too much defense. They're walking on eggshells. They're trying to make sure they say the right thing or have the right look or have the right setting. Stop trying to impress these women. It is not about these women. Stop looking for the one and learn how to be the one. Once you become that one percenter, that man, excuse me, once you do that, then women are going to want to be with you, Mr. Lucario. And that's the problem a lot of these guys are having. They are too busy looking for the one and not trying to be the one, sir. What do you have on that, man?
Yeah, I feel you on that. And also, you know, he's talking about like, you know, oh, I don't want to be a player. I just want to have a girlfriend and all this other stuff. And the thing is, you know, I always tell guys about when it comes to having girlfriends is that you still need to go out there and date around, because what happens is that the girl who's going to be your girlfriend has to choose you. You know what I mean? Meaning like she has to want to be your girl in order for that to happen. Because, you know, a lot of times guys they'll get with a girl or they'll like a girl or whatever, and they'll say like, hey, I want to be your boyfriend, or they'll try to like force the issue. But until the girl is ready to be your girlfriend, she's not going to actually want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really going to go down. So it's almost like you gotta just do your thing, and then at a certain point, you know, one or two of the girls that you're dealing with is going to say to you, hey, so where is this going, and what does this all mean, and blah 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 blah. And then at that point, then you can say, okay, let's take it to the next level. You know what I mean? But that all comes from you sort of doing your own thing first. You understand? So it's not necessarily where you got to be a player or whatever, but it's almost like you still have to be out there in the game, you know, getting your feet wet so you can meet the different women, so that you can see who you connect with and who you gel with. So then, at a certain point, one of those girls are going to be the girl that's going to, stick with it. Because a lot of times when you talk about this whole the one thing, you know what I mean? And it's like that movie theater fantasy type of, thought process of you're in the movies and you find that one girl and it's all special. It's like, and usually that's like a very feminine type of thought process anyway about finding the one, you know what I mean? Because that's what women be thinking about and are conditioned to think. But the thing is, like what you were saying, Steve, about you being the one, it's like you're being that dude who is so on point that you have so many options that you don't even need to worry about having a girlfriend, because you're going to have a lot of women trying to really be with you. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have women who are going to be trying to actually stick with you and stay with you. You know what I mean? So the thing is that, a big problem why you're not having that girlfriend or getting that girlfriend too is because, like, you haven't developed yourself to be that guy that women would want to, have as a boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing that you gotta get to, is you gotta be that dude that chicks are saying, hey, I want this guy. I want to be with him. I don't, I want to keep seeing him. I keep thinking about him all the time. I want to be in his life and all this other stuff. And that comes from you cultivating who you are first. And then that's going to be the thing that gravitates, these chicks to you. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
So,
All right.
Yeah, man.
Let's get to the last one, man. This is quick. I like this. Move fast. No.
Hell yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's quick. All right. Here we go. Last email. Talking to a girl. She gives a ton of IOIs. I don't know what that means. We're playing a game. I say to her, I have better booze in my room upstairs. Let's go there after the game is done. She is very down and excited, and when the game ends, she's not feeling it anymore. She's not giving me IOIs. What does that mean?
I think that's that pickup artist stuff that it stands for indicator of interest or something like that.
Well, shit. Okay. All right. Throughout when the game is going on, she is being very touchy and very until the very end, where she says she doesn't want to go. I have no clue what's going on with that. I know this is exactly a detailed report, but I guess to ask what could I have done wrong, because as of now, I have no idea. So I guess he was with a girl that was giving him some interest, and he wanted to go upstairs, but then later on everything fizzled out, and now he has no idea, Ms. Lucario. What say you on this one, sir?
Oh, man, it's, I would ask him, like, what did he do once he saw that she was showing interest? You know what I mean? And so a lot of times these guys, they're not making anything happen because they are not taking the lead in the situation. You know what I mean? Because even if a woman shows you interest, even if a woman is choosing you, you still have to do something. You still have to lead the interaction, because the thing is, women generally are very passive. So a lot of times when you deal with girls, most of them aren't going to be like really aggressive in showing that they want to really make something happen. You know what I mean? So the thing is, you have to be the one to create the situation. You have to be the one to push it to the next level. So she's doing as much as she will do as far as just showing the interest, but you have to take that situation and then push it forward. So a lot of times things aren't happening because you're sitting there waiting for the girl to sort of do everything or to sort of, make things happen. And she's waiting for you to make that next move. You know what I mean? Because she's looking at you like, hey, I'm showing you interest. Now do something. Now man up and take me where you need to take me and do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's that type of thing. But, a lot of guys, they're either scared to do it or they don't know what to do at that point. And that's why they're not really getting from point A to point B. Because a lot of times, there's times where guys, because at least this guy, sort of understood she was interested. Like, he understood the signs maybe of what she was doing. Some guys don't even know that a girl is choosing them or showing signs that she's choosing. And so they miss out on everything altogether. But in this case, he saw the signs, but he didn't really push it and do anything. So I'll say, you really got to, like, push the situations to that next level once it presents itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
no. So that's it.
All right. Well, for me, I just think for me, I would say for this guy, I think what turned her off was his thirst. You got to learn how to be cool, calm, and collected in the moment like you've been there before. Yeah, it's one thing to be flirty and all that other stuff, but it's also one thing to kind of fuck her world up when she says, well, I don't feel like doing it. Okay, well, cool then. You know what? We'll do it some other time. And then after that, get on your phone and call the next chick up in front of her face to let her know that she's not the only one. And I think that's just what the guys do. They do what I call getting the hope business. They hope the sun, the stars, and the moon all line up, and then all of a sudden she's really interested and she's going to give me that play. So I'm going to hang in there as long as I can, Mr. Lucario. I'm going to hang in and hope that she says, okay, let's go upstairs. You know what? One thing I don't like doing, Miss Lucario, is wasting my fucking time. And if I feel like she's not down like 4 flats and she ain't going up those steps, then you know what? We going to cut this shit off early. I'm going to get you an Uber ride and make sure you get home safely. But I got other shit to do. And if you're asking me what I'm doing, I'm going to see this other woman. Why? Because when I gave you the opportunity to go upstairs with me, with all due respect, you said no. And I'm not here to rush it. I'm not here to run behind you or beg you. That's cool. We'll just do it later. But for now, I'm going to get into something instead of sitting around waiting. And I think that is some of his problems, brother.
Right. Real shit.
Yeah,
Real shit. And I think too, like, the fact that she, is saying no, a lot of times too has to do with sometimes a guy's not reacting when he needs to react, because women, if a woman showing you interest and you're taking too long to do something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. She could take that as you rejecting her. You know what I mean? So then therefore she's looking at it like you're rejecting her. So then when you finally do try to say something or do something, at that point it could be too late, because now she looks at it like, what took you so long and why, you know what I mean? Why now and all this other stuff. So it's, again, like I was saying earlier, it's like that thing you got to strike while the pussy's hot to really, go through and make something happen. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of different like little details that make a difference once it comes to actually like trying to make something happen. You know what I mean?
No doubt. All right, well, Mr. Carter, why don't you tell them how they can get hold of you, big dog?
All right, so you guys can check me out every Friday from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. live on my YouTube channel, Lucario Fan. Make sure you subscribe to that. Also, make sure you hit me up at badboymembership.com. And also make sure you hit me up at Patreon.com/Mr. Lucario. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is it.
All right, guys. And you want to check us out, www.themanmindset.com. If you want to check out our membership, Man Mindset membership, just go to patreon.com/themanmindset. All right, Mr. Lucario. That's going to wrap everything up. We will see you next Friday, man. Thank you for your time, brother. I really appreciate you, man.
All right, peace.
All right, peace out, guys. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.